my friends, how's it going? It's Ultimus, and today we are doing a revised look at the Unholy Death Knight artifact tree. A lot has changed with this one. Some stuff is the same, but mostly changes since the first time we looked at this was early on in the Legion Alpha. So, we're just going to take a look at it again, see what's going on, and go from there. The effect that we talked about that has a chance to proc Army of the Dead is confirmed, being the equip effect. As you can see right here, it simply states, equipped, your attacks have a chance to summon a member of your Army of the Dead. So it's not the full-blown army initially, but it's just a member. So how often that procs, that could still get kind of crazy pretty quickly. It basically sounds still like as an Unholy Death Knight, you're going to have a ton of minions on the field pretty much at all times, which is really exciting, and I feel like that's half the fun of playing the Unholy Death Knight, is just swarming your enemy with minions. So, still pretty exciting if you ask me. Apocalypse is a 2-second cast on a 45-second cooldown. It says you channel the power of Pestilence, dealing 880% damage and applying 3 stacks of Festering Wounds, which is a lot of damage. Like 880% sounds like a lot. I'm imagining that's based off of weapon damage. I don't know. It just seems to me that's what it'd be based off of, but it's pretty crazy. 3 stacks of Festering Wounds is no joke either, that's for sure. Unholy Endurance stays the same, reduces the damage you take from area of effects by 15%. Rotten Touch increases the damage of Festering Strike by 15%, stays the same. Plague Bearer is a little bit different. This time around, it states that it increases the damage of your Virulent Plague by 5%, 10%, 15%. Up here we got Scourge the Unbeliever, which also stays the same, except the percentage has been adjusted now. It says your Scourge Strike has a 10, 20, 30% chance to refund a rune, which makes more sense. We have Portal to the Underworld, which states that your Army of the Dead Ghouls explode when they die. So whether that stays the same, that's yet to be seen, since it says not yet implemented, essentially, is what I'm imagining the NYI stands for. But it's a cool concept for sure, so I'm going to keep it in here, and we're still going to go ahead and follow through with this video, since enough of the other stuff seems to be changed and thought out enough to be fairly concrete, aside from any of the things that can happen during beta. But either way, again, I like that concept a lot, because as a Death Knight, you're teetering kind of on the same lines of a Demonology Warlock, where basically your minions and your demons, or in this case your undead minions, are not your friends, they're not your pets, they are your minions, and you are summoning them to do your bidding, and they are completely expendable. And so, especially with the Apocalypse weapon equip effect, as you're going to have a chance to randomly summon a member of your Army of the Dead, it's kind of cool that basically that effect is going to have a chance again to continue to carry on. Every time you summon one of those undead minions, you're going to get that explosion effect when they die, etc. Again, it sounds pretty cool if you ask me. The Darkest Crusade stays the same, increases the effect of your Fallen Crusader by 50%, 75%, 100%. That percentage has been adjusted though, so keep that in mind. We have the Shambler, which stays the same. Your attacks have a chance to summon a super zombie that shambles forward and explodes. Runic Tattoos. This one has, the concept stayed the same, but we actually have some numbers on it this time. And it states, increases your maximum runic power by 15, 30, 50, and runic power regeneration by 10, 20, 30. So that's a lot of runic power to deal with. 50 additional, that puts you up to what, 150, and then with your increased generation by 30%, that's a substantial chunk there. So you're probably going to be cycling through runic power quite a bit, and I'm curious to see which attacks are really going to benefit the most from having all this extra runic power, aside from maybe just giving you more window and more space to use these abilities, which is pretty cool. Then we have over here Eternal Agony, increases the duration of your dark transformation by 2, 4, 6 seconds. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe this one has changed as well, which makes sense, and it fits with Unholy Death Knights, as Dark Transformation is definitely one of your most important spells. Deadliest Coil increases the damage of your Death Coil by 5, 10, 15%, and that stays the same. Deadly Durability reduces the damage you take by 3, 6, 10%, which is pretty much the same. Gravitational pull has changed. The previous spell stated that it rooted your targets in place, and we were concerned about when that rooted the targets, because obviously if it rooted them before the death grip was going to be null, so it would kind of have to be afterwards. But it's completely different now, so none of that even matters. It states enemies you death grip are snared by 80% for 6 seconds, so it adds an additional slow to your death grip effect, which is still extremely useful, and I'm not complaining for sure. And then lastly, we have Flagellation, which is pretty much exactly the same. Death Coil applies a debuff that increases Scourge Strike damage by 50%. So, kind of a big deal. Scourge Strike is for sure going to be one of your bigger damage dealers. Overall, the tree still looks solid. I don't see anything that makes me go, that seems kind of weird or out of place, which is always a good thing. How they'll fare damage-wise on the PvE charts as well as in PvP, that's of course yet to be seen. Still curious to see what a lot of the tweaks are going to be for Death Knights and just PvP as a whole. But overall, I'm still looking forward to playing my Death Knight in Legion, should I choose to play it. And I'm actually having a hard time deciding between Frost or Unholy, I'm not going to lie. Unholy definitely, as I've stated before, and I won't beat a dead horse, is definitely my go-to spec. It just is the most fun to me, and especially with the two-hander, it looks sick this time around. But Frost looks so promising and so cool come Legion that it might actually take my attention. Armies of the Damned. Ghouls summoned by Army of the Dead now apply additional effects when using their claw. This spell itself, again, stays the same. Nothing's different with this one. And I almost missed the talent, so please forgive me for that. But last but not least, finally, for reals this time, we have Double Doom. Sudden Doom can stack to 2 and will proc more 25% more frequently. I think that's a typo there with the extra more in there. But this spell is different a little bit. Again, your Sudden Doom, it originally was that your Sudden Doom would basically stack or proc 2 of the spells, but this time around it just has the ability basically where it states now it can stack up to 2 and will proc 25% more frequently. So it's not a guaranteed double stack, but it has that potential to, and it's going to proc more frequently, which again isn't a bad thing. And I think spells like this are good to kind of put kind of a, like, kind of, not a soft cap, but like a, that's not the word I'm looking for. Kind of like easing onto the gas pedal a little bit, not just like hitting the gas pedal and then you have all of your abilities, all your things are proccing at all the time, and then you have no idea what to press because there's so many things glowing on your action bars. Slowly getting these procs and stuff like that I think is better for the life of gameplay and for the enjoyment of the class as well, because again, you're not getting it all the time. But when you do, it's exciting to use the skill, hopefully, is what we're looking at. So, Unholy Death Knight still looking fun, especially with just the mass amounts of pets that they can summon. The minions are going to get out on the field. It just overall looks very, very good. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. I thank you so much for watching these again as we go through and filter through some of the classes and specs that I find most interesting, revisiting what talents have been changed in the artifact trees. If you haven't already, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think of Unholy Death Knights and the direction that Blizzard is taking them and some of the changes that have been made since we've been looking at their first on-paper release and as we're getting deeper into alpha and seeing more of what the gameplay looks like. I'd love to hear from you guys and what you have to say. Don't forget to follow me on all the different social media platforms we have listed here throughout the page. You've got links to our Facebook page and Twitter down below and our Instagram up top. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.